Severance or Severance. Hi everybody. Everyone is so obsessed with Severance. Well, looks like me too. Anyways, Severance is 8 MDR employees on the refiner floor, and they're making different people do different tasks as far as spending 8 hours at work. Then they'll blink, and then they turn around and they're back at home as an outie. So the people that are in the show, the characters: Mark on the refining floor, Irving, Dylan, and Haley. There's other people: Bert, Milchek, Harmony, Jenna, and let's see. A person who escaped was Petey. Bert is he's possibly, maybe not gonna be there after because he retired. So he might be going. They have an overtime contingency, which it shuts off the innie and makes one person both. And Harmony wrote all of the notes to that overtime contingency plan. The job is about numbers, and I think that the numbers are people. So what's the lowest and the highest numbers that you think you've seen? Let's see. Keep your work life separate from your real life at home. Sound familiar? Guess what? 3 divisions. They have the board, Egan and Kier, the break room, wellness sessions, Devin and Riddick. Mark's sister took control of his mind during episode 9. I'm wondering if they're twins. If so, that means that maybe possibly Harmony did have them. Not sure. Because he slept with Haley, which would make them related, which is not good. But, let's see. Irving was a doctor therapy guy, according to Devin. And then retired from the military. So him and Rugabi kind of have the same demeanor, like they're, he's a doctor, she's a doctor for taking out the chicks. So, like a soldier too. So the last words, I'm ready. That's what Irving said to Bert as he boards the train to Lord knows where. Sometimes, up or down, you'll see the elevators. They produce the ether chambers and change the innie from outie. They watch and switch at the Salt Neck, which was an old lumen factory that shut down. They supply the ether for them. Let's see, birthing canals. Yeah, birthing canals and cottages also have a changing chamber for innies and outies, like a warp or a vortex. Now, let's see. Some of the lumen services at Severance include blood bank, dentist, wellness, a goat pasture room, a goat feeding room, an airport, an ether factory, Miss Casey studying. Gemma is Miss Casey, and Gemma's room changes her from different rooms. There's 25 different rooms, and she walks into them, so she switches every room and spends about 2 hours in the room, I'm guessing. So 2 times, 12 times a day. The list goes on. Let's see, what else? Lumen. IVF treatments, birthing centers, severed floor at Lumen, housing for employees, no churches or crosses did I see in this movie, which is interesting. In the episodes only the Cure altar, the ghosts chanting, the museum of past Cure CEOs and homes of Cure, dining and bedrooms. Those are all inside of the company, so I really don't think that there's no need for any of the Eagles to even leave, since the museum is kept there anyway. Helena and Haley, responsible for Gemma's crush, I think, and Dylan's wife, all for Cure. So she covered, I think that his wife covered up Gemma's car accident, and that's what I think. So Cure's wife's name is Imaging. They met at Salt Neck Mill, and Harmony, Miss Corbell, lived as a child there. So when she started journaling about Cure at about 12 years old, and she already had all of the blueprints on how to make the chips, and they showed in her notebook that she had everything written down, basically. So that's probably why she was there, and that's probably why she left the way that she did when they tried to tell her to come inside to speak to the board. Here we go. Also, theory: the goats. I think that the food comes from the goats, and the products too that they make out of that. Miss Corbell is Harmony, and she never marries. Well, in the movie, she says she's married, but they don't really show any like pictures of her husband or anything like she's married. She also goes by Miss Salvi, and basically she invented Lumen. So why isn't she CEO or Egan? The first test, because she's the first test subject for Lumen, right? Reintegration, the Rugabi, and apparently Rugabi and Corbell know each other, but they don't like each other. But it seems like in season 10, they're closer than we think. So on this bottom floor, and everybody's talking about, we have Dylan, Miss Casey, Haley. Haley's making a map to go to the bottom floor, that elevator. Mark is also looking for Miss Casey, so he's going to that bottom elevator. So they're all going to the same place. Basically, the elevator room is under Severance floor. So what is their room to do? They're gonna be there like shelves. Like, Get Out, and remember the movie Us with the doubles? It's like one person and only their soul is like existing. But other than that, they're using their memories to depress them so that they forget exactly who they are. So this is my question: why do they need to watch them so much? And is it more like yeah, it's more like monetization of a product to make sure it's working in top performance and all the time. With the alternate timeline, they can actually change the future. With the chip, they can modify the past. So making the future the way that they want to every single time is what Lumen is all about. So what about all of the cars in the parking lots of Lumen? That brings me to these drawings. What is up with all of the pictures of the smiles, right, on the wall? Why does everybody get sent to this one room with this big table? Why are there so many different cars in the parking lot, but they only really show a few departments? And they only show a few employees, but there's a ton of different cars that are just in the parking lot. Now, this was not just at one Lumen location, this was also at another Lumen location. So the cars play a big part in this Severance show. And they have 2 seasons, season 1 and season 2, possibly a season 3, but I really don't think there needs to be a season 3 because they basically said that everything was completed for Cold Harbor. Gemma ended up escaping, and Mark actually let her out the door so she could escape, while Haley's is sitting in, well, she's standing waiting for Mark at the other end of the hallway. So I'm like thinking, did he just do that because he was trying to make his own decisions? Or did he do that because sometimes, men just cheat? He wanted to be like his, I don't know, they had a work relationship, which in the real world is not something that is allowed at the job. So why would he think that spending half of a life with someone would be better than spending a whole life with someone you had been waiting on your whole life? Like, he waited for Gemma. He was in Lumen. He signed up for Lumen because he was so depressed because he couldn't see her. And then when he does finally see her, he just leaves her in the hallway and runs into the arms of another woman. So, you gotta give me some feedback on that. I didn't understand that ending, but if that is the ending, then there really doesn't need to be a season 3, I'm thinking. So, because they already said everything that happened. So, who are you? That was the major question. It's all about the story, all about the book, all about that one room. Miss Corbell. She is a main character for the movie. We have Mark, who is also a major character in the movie. There is Dylan, who is an employee, and he also has a relationship with his Audi's wife and resigns, and then he ends up coming back. So there is Haley. Here is the group picture. And there's Selena. And last but not least our favorite, Irving. I will do a recap again. So we have Irving, Haley, Ruth Photo, Haley, Helena, Dylan, this show is absolutely fantastic. And here's Mark, who, I don't know what happened. He just obviously lost his mind, leaving his wife in that hallway. Okay, here we go. And then, last but not least, the one who started it all, Miss Corbell. I'm not even gonna mention Milchick because he did so well in that last episode. I mean, I have no words. That was a great performance by him. So, yeah, he definitely did his thing in that role. And thank you everybody for watching this segment on Severance, and I hope everybody remembers to watch this show. It has a lot of information, a lot of detail that basically that happens in the workplace sometimes. So here is my final picture. Hope everybody can see that. And this is Space Queen Barbie signing out. Bye-bye.